Well, opposition leader there, Yair Lapid, speaking to Oren. My next guest spent years in Israeli politics. He's a former Israeli justice minister who participated in the Oslo Accords peace process and the informal Geneva peace accords. Yossi Beilin says he is optimistic about the current ceasefire plan. He joins us now from Tel Aviv. And it's good to have you. So you've been deeply involved in peace negotiations over the years. I know you share Yair Lapid's optimism. What is it about this current plan that you believe could just lead to a breakthrough here?
Perhaps there is a major component in the system, and this is President Trump's efforts. I mean, he is trying to do a lot in order to promote the efforts towards arrangements, the end of the war, the release of the hostages, and then another force which will govern Gaza, whether it would be an international, multinational, or other. I, for one, believe that the simplest thing would be to invite back the Palestinian Authority to Gaza. It was taken from them in June 2007, and there is no reason in the world not to give it back to them and demand that they will keep their law and order with the help of others. But apparently this will not happen very soon.
Yeah, and that is not acceptable to the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, nor is it, frankly, acceptable to Arab leaders without there being some significant reform. And we can talk about that going forward, because Trump's plan, of course, does allow for a reformed Palestinian state, Palestinian Authority at some point in the future. Let's stick to what we know at present about what is going on in Sharm el-Sheikh. The Egyptian foreign minister says the goal is to implement the first stage of Trump's plan to release the hostages and to stop the fighting. It's the second stage where things, of course, get tricky. So two questions to you. Will negotiators get a commitment from Hamas to disarm, do you believe?
I don't know. It's very difficult to understand what is their motivation. You are not speaking about a state or about a pragmatic organization that you can imagine what they want, you can compromise or insist on some other things. There are people who are ready to sacrifice themselves for very strange targets, like an Islamic empire in the Middle East or something like that. And we don't know. I mean, this has also to do with the leverage. I mean, is there a real leverage of Egypt and Turkey and Qatar on these people? Or they just felt that what they had to do is to say yes, but. And now we are negotiating about something which will be very difficult to conclude. I'm optimistic because I think that President Trump will not easily give up. And this is the change, but it won't be easy.
Yeah. Let me just put this to you, because I know there is no love lost between you and Benjamin Netanyahu. You are frankly, a staunch critic. Do you believe that Israel, under Netanyahu's leadership, would commit to a withdrawal from Gaza? I know these are difficult questions. I briefly want to get your sense.
No, I mean, this is not a difficult question, because just to withdraw from Gaza is not such a big deal. And at a certain point, especially if there is a serious replacement of Hamas, then Israel will be very happy to withdraw from Gaza, I presume so. But for the lunatics in the government who want to build their settlements and things like that, but this is not, they are not representing the majority. So yes, I mean, the idea of leaving Gaza is not such a big deal. The big question is about the vision of, which is part of the Trump's plan, speaking about statehood, and these things are rejected by Netanyahu regretfully.
Well, let's talk about that, because part of this process, as you rightly point out, is to get a sort of comprehensive plan, a peace deal together, and that includes the day after the guns go silent. This plan lays a vision for that. The details on the implementation of that plan still to be hashed out. What we do know, though, in the first instance, is that Gaza would be governed by a transitional board of peace led by Donald Trump himself and the former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. You've come out in strong support of Blair's potential role, despite many Palestinians being opposed, likening it to British colonialism. Can you just explain where your support lies and why?
You don't have too many people who are so much knowledgeable about the region. He was, after being a prime minister, he was in Jerusalem representing the quartet, and he knows all the main players in our region, and the efforts to get peace and the frustration of not having peace yet. I know him very well, and I really appreciate him. I think that there is criticism against it, which is connected to the role of Britain in Iraq. But I think that there are not many Tony Blairs in this world, and if he is ready to fold his sleeves and to get to this very difficult job. I mean, if you see Gaza, you see the situation right now. To rebuild it would be a very, very difficult challenge, and I would like to see somebody like him doing it.
It'll, of course, as you have pointed out in your writings, will of course depend on whether there is support regionally for that position. It does, at least in principle, appear that there is in this region, despite the fact that he is a very controversial figure. His legacy of the Iraq War of 2003, of course, is one of those reasons for controversy. Yossi, it's good to have you. Thank you very much indeed. And we are in a bit of a holding pattern. I know many people around the region where I am, here in the Gulf and beyond, do hope that this plan comes off, because, frankly, I think people can't see beyond this an opportunity for peace without this plan. So it's good to have you. Thank you for your insight and your analysis, and we'll chat again.